Namaste students, welcome back to your history class. We were studying about the ancient civilization. In the last class we studied about the Greek civilization. In this class we will be studying about the Roman civilization and the Italia and the Harappan civilization. Children, Italy is a peninsula that stretches deeply into the Mediterranean Sea, and is to the south of Europe. The tribal community called Latins and inhabited this land. Rome was founded about 2500 years ago in the district of Latium, south of the Tiber river. Romulus and Remus were the ancestors of the Romans. Now we will move. This is the Romulus Remus. Some people think that the Laurenite was called the she wolf by the shepherds because she was a prostitute, and the miraculous story may have come from this. So, this is the way Romulus and Remus were born and brought up. They were the foundation of the they were the first one to find out the Roman Empire. Now we will move on to the political history. We are having Julius Caesar and Augustus Caesar are the most important persons in the political history of Rome. Pompey and Crassus and Julius Caesar formed the first triumvirate in Rome. They ruled over different regions as a military general. Now we will move on to Julius Caesar. You can see here these three men acted in concrete because their individual demands were met with the stiff opposition in the Senate. Now we will move on to Julius Caesar. With the death of the Chris, rivalry for power grew between the Pompey and Caesar. In the war which followed, Pompey was murdered by Caesar. He defeated Egypt and fell in love with the beautiful Egyptian queen Cleopatra. He made himself a dictator and abolished the Republic of Rome. Taking this move as an excuse, he was assassinated by his enemies. During the Caesar's period, agriculture, industry, and trade flourished. And also, the Julian calendar was introduced, and Augustus Caesar continued the works of Caesar. Now we will move on to Augustus Caesar. Augustus Caesar's first name was Octavius. Mark Antony, Lapidus, and Octavius formed the second triumvirate. Octavius shared a power with Mark Antony by driving away the Lepidus, and finally he defeated Antony. Octavius became the most powerful man in the Roman Empire. During his reign is called as a golden age of Roman Empire. Jesus Christ is known to have lived during this period. He introduced many social reforms, and the rule was peaceful with his Roman peace, which was called as a Roman peace. Economic and cultural progress also was achieved during this period. The successors of Augustus was incompetent. They were inefficient. They were defeated by the tribals invaders, resulting the decline of the Roman Empire. Now we will move to the Roman contributions. Romans, they have contributed a lot to the literary world. And we are having the Virgil, the poet Virgil, who wrote the epic poem Aeneid that tells the story of the prince of Troy. Ovid was another great poet. We are also having the Cicero and the Plautius were also a great literary figures. Julius Caesar himself was a good historian. The Cato, the Cicero, and the Plautius were the famous philosophers. They advocated peaceful coexistence with nature. The Colosseum and the Amphitheater are the best example of the Roman architecture. So we can see that the origins of the Roman architecture. So, as with the sculpture, the Romans borrowed heavily from two cultures that they were conquered, that is, the Etruscan and the Greeks. The Romans were indebted to their Etruscan neighbors and forefathers who supplied them with a wealth of knowledge, essential for future architectural solutions such as the hydrolysis and in the constructions of arcs. Later, they absorbed the Greek and the Phoenician influence apparent in many aspects closely related to the architecture. So, the Cupid statue and the Harappan sculpture are the best examples of the art of sculpting children. This you can see the architectural characteristics. To the three Greek orders of the Roman added the composite order, a blend that superimposed the scroll like the altis and the Ionic capital over the Corinthian Akhenathus. They also made a composite base by introducing the Ionic base into a Doric shaft. So the Roman architecture, they built a large scale monumental buildings for public use. They also carried out many practical engineering projects like the aqueducts, bridges and roads. The Romans used stone like the Greeks, but they also used mortar, concrete and bricks. So their constructions were extremely solid. The Romans were influenced by the Greek architecture, however, they added their features like arch and valet. You can see they constructed the bridge, the advocate, temple, dome, triumph arch, amphitheater, circus, theater, and basilica. You can see this is the origin. The Romans needed the interior space for worship, whereas the Greek worshipped outside. Their solutions was to extend the walls outward, creating engaged columns. These are the columns, children. Columns while maintaining the same basic shape. This is the Roman amphitheater at Arles in France. This is the theater where the people used to sit and see the dramas, the amphitheaters. So, Roman amphitheaters are the Roman theaters. They are large circular or oval open air venue with a raised seating built by the ancient Romans. They were used for events such as gladiator combats, venue tennis, and executions. About 230 Roman amphitheaters have been found across the area of the Roman Empire. Earlier amphitheaters dates from the Republican period, though they became mere monument during the imperial era. Amphitheaters are distinguished from circuses and hippodromes, which were usually rectangular and built mainly for racing events and for the athletics out. But several of these terms have time has been used for one of the same venue. The word amphitheater means theater all around. Thus, the amphitheater is distinguished from the traditional semicircular Roman theaters by being circular or oval in shape. This is the Colosseum Colosseum, which is an oval amphitheater where we find it in Rome. This one, as I told you, it is a gladiator public spectacular, what I told. So, this is the outer view from upside when we look through the amphitheater. Romans had a deep knowledge in science and mathematics. Pliny wrote the encyclopedia. He wrote the Encyclopedia of Natural History. Galen was a famous surgeon, and Strabo and Ptolemy were the famous geologists during this time. The Roman law served as a basis of future future laws. Latin was the language of the Roman Empire. Even today, the words from Latin are used in science, law, and other branches of knowledge. Now, children, we have finished up with the Roman civilization. We will move on to the next, that is the Harappan Civilization, or we call it as the Indus Valley Civilization. Indian history was suited from the periods of Veda till the century till the last century. Dayaram Sanhai and Rakal Das Banerjee excavated the sites of Harappa and Mohenjo-daro in the present Pakistan. This discovery at once pushed back the history of India by at least 2000 years earlier to Vedas. It is called as the Indus Valley Civilization because most of the some of its important sites are located which are excavated, first located in the valley of the river Indus and its tributaries. During the research after this, as many as 1500 sites have been found belonging to this civilization. So, it is understood that this civilization was present beyond the river Sindhu plain. Harappan civilization have been found among the Harappa, Mohenjo-daro in Pakistan, Kalibangan in Rajasthan, and Dolavira in Dolavira and Lothal in Gujarat, and Rakhi Ghari in Haryana. This is the Indus river where it took place. We are having Mohenjo-daro, Ghanirwala, Harappa, Dheri. All these are the places where we had the Harappan civilization. Now we will move on to the city planning. The cities of Harappan civilization were very well planned. They were protected by forts, wide roads, public wells, multi-storied buildings, and well-planned drainage system. You can see here, and drainage system was built. These were the achievements of our ancestors. The importance was given to the cleanliness and public health as a model of the present. This system of town planning cannot be found elsewhere in the other civilizations. In Mohenjo-daro, a great tank for public bath, now called as the Great Bath, was found. There are rooms on all the sides, six large granaries, and quarters for laborers. Quarters for laborers are found in Harappan cities. Lothal was a popular harbor in those days. Now we will move on to the social and economic life. The main occupation of these people were weaving of cotton and woolen clothes. The production of baked bricks was also one of the occupation. They did animal husbandry. They reared the animals like cattle, goats, pigs, cats, dogs, camels, and donkeys. The credit of growing cotton for the first time in India goes to the Harappan civilization. Greeks call it as Sindhudan as it was produced in the Indus Valley. Harappans had trade relationships with Mesopotamian region, and also this is called the civilization as Meluha. They carried out trade activities to the Lothal port in the Arabian Sea. We can see the achievements of them. We can see they created the wheels of both pottery and transportation, pictography writing system, stone stamps, seals to show the ownership, walls surrounding the city to prevent flooding, toilets made out of bricks, bull driven carts, and barbed hooks, lines, and nets for fishing. All these are the achievements. Now we will move on to the social life. Both men and women were fond of decorating themselves. The women used some of the ornaments like necklaces, fillets, armlets, finger rings, earrings, nose studs, and bangles. They also used cosmetics and also the perfumes. The men were equally decorated themselves. Marbles, balls, and dice were their sports. Bullfighting was their major entertainment. Toys depicting bullock carts were there for the children along with the dolls. Now we will move on to the art. Small idols of mother goddesses was made out of clay, which has been found in large numbers. More than 2000 terracotta seals have been found. A dancing girl's figurine statue and beardsman stone idols are the beautiful artifacts that have been found. When we move on to the religion, they worshipped Shiva, that is Pashupati, mother goddesses. They also worshipped the mother goddesses, people and neem trees. Sun, fire, earth, water, and snakes were also worshipped. Fire pits have been found in Kalibangan and Lotus, which proves that they had the fire rituals. When we move on to the scripts, Harappan had developed a uniform, they had their own unique script and languages. The scholars have been trying hard to understand the writing which has been written in a seals. You can see a bull here, a bull and the symbols. Understanding the writing of seals, but it is in vain. Now we will move on to the decline of the cities. How did the Harappan civilization decline? We can see here, children, we can find a higher level of standardized of Indus seals than in any other 3D million. This one, Harappa, this is Mohenjo-daro. The longest inscription carrying 13 symbols ever found in the urban site of Harappan civilization. They are the number of ways oversized, highly qualified quality seals like this one from Mohenjo-daro, where we are having. And we are also having the mother goddesses, the people of Indus Valley cities also worshipped mother goddesses. The important uncovered process include a dancing girl, a terracotta figurines that can be identified as fertility goddesses, and the men also wore the dresses and ornaments. You can see here the beard man. The religion, as I told, they did idol worship. Seals we can find they where he is here where we can find the Pushyabhuti, where we can find an elephant, a tiger, and two deers, and we can also see the people tree. And Pashupati is a Indian god Shiva. These are the scripts which were written by them. We can see these are the scripts. Now we will move on to the decline of the Indus Valley civilization. The city of Harappan Civilization began to disintegrate and gradually the entire civilization disappeared. The major causes for this were, the first one was the flood at regular intervals in Indus and its tributaries. Secondly, the overuse of woods of burning bricks that destroyed the forest, which necessitated in their migration. Thirdly, the Aryan who came from outside would have attacked them. Fourthly, the spread of the infectious diseases. All the above reasons might have been the cause for the disappearance of the great civilization. The historians are of the opinion that a spectacular town planning and the vision of our ancestors are the model to the present. So, these are the reasons for the evidences. So, with this we finish up with the first chapter, with the fourth chapter, the ancient civilization. Children, we are having here, after I give all the question and answers from the textbook, then you had to copy these extra questions in your class workbooks. Extra questions, 1 marks question, 1 word question, and fill in the blanks, and you have to tick the correct answer. The answer also is being given here. So, we are also having a very short answers which you had to write. So, with this we finish up with the chapter. Thank you, children.